Hello everyone, this is Mr. Lang. In this video I'm going to be giving you an introduction to systems of linear equations. Now this is a topic that you covered a little bit last year, but we're going to be taking it further obviously this year. What you need for this video is the note sheet that I handed out in class, and you'll need a straight edge because we're going to be graphing some lines. So like a ruler or something like that. Anyway, if you're ready to go, let's get started. Alright, so the directions say solve the following system of equations graphically and check. And what you'll see here is we've got two equations. If I look at the first one, we can tell it's a line because it's y equals mx plus b. So with this one our slope is 1/3 and our y-intercept is 1. Now when we're graphing this one, we do not need to make a table of values because it's linear. Now this next one here is also a linear equation. I can tell because there's no x squareds or y squareds or anything like that. It's just a plain x, plain y. The problem is it's not in y equals mx plus b form. So the first thing you want to do is check to make sure that your lines are in y equals mx plus b form. First one's good. This one I got to get the y alone. So what I'm going to do is subtract x from each side. And in y equals mx plus b form, this is going to be y equals, I'm going to put the negative x first, negative x plus 5. Alright, so I'm going to graph each of these lines separately, but on the same graph. So I'll start with the 1/3 x plus 1. Start with the 1, which is our y-intercept, so I'm going to plot that right there. And then I'm going to go, the slope is 1/3, so I'm going to go up 1 to the right 3, up 1 to the right 3, and I'm going to go backwards from this way. I'm going to go down and left. Follow the pattern here. Now I'm going to graph this line. And when you're doing systems of equations, since we're graphing multiple things on one graph, you've got to label. And I always label with the y equals mx plus b form. So this is y equals 1/3 x plus 1. Alright, and now we're going to do the next line, which is negative x plus 5. So it's got a y-intercept of 5. That's going to be right up here. And a slope of negative 1. Now negative 1 means negative 1 over 1. So I'm going to go down 1 to the right, down 1 to the right, and I'm just going to follow this pattern. Again, I'm going to graph it. Use a straight edge always with these. It's super important that your graphs are neat. If they aren't neat, you're not going to be able to get the right answers all the time. And again, I want to label it. So this is y equals negative x plus 5. I always label it with the y equals mx plus b form. Alright, so let's talk about what this actually means to be a system of equations. What it means is multiple equations. They could be lines like they are in this case. You could have parabolas, exponentials, anything you want. But you've got multiple graphs on one graph, and the solution is where they intersect. So with two lines, they could only possibly intersect at one point. And that's this point right here that I'm marking in red. And it looks like that is the point. X is 3 and y is 2. So that's 3, 2. I usually like to mark my solution in two places. On the graph by showing it there. I also like to write it nice and big outside. Alright, and that's really easy to do. We know how to graph lines. We can see where they intersect, and this is a solution. Now, what we want to do with these systems of equations is check them. And when you check them, you have to plug in the x and y coordinates back into both equations. So I'll show you how to, do a check properly. I usually write that I'm doing a check. I say what point I'm checking. Obviously, that's going to be the solution. this is my x, this is my y. And I'm going to kind of do into two parts. This is the y equals 1/3 x plus 1. And I'm going to draw a little line here. And this is the x plus y equals 5. Always go with the originals, because in case you made a mistake converting it into y equals mx plus b form, you wouldn't catch that if you're not using the original. So now I'm going to plug in the x and y here. The y is 2. Always use parentheses when you're subbing in when it's multiplied. So we're checking to see if 2 is equal to 1/3 times 3 plus 1. Well, 1/3 of 3 is 1. And 1 plus 1 is obviously 2. So 2 does equal 2. So the first one checked. Now I got to do this one. My x plus y equals 5. This one's going to be easy. 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. And 3 plus 2 is, of course, 5. So you got to check them with both. Now, if it checked with one equation but didn't check with another, then you've got the wrong solution. You must have made a mistake graphing. So it's got to check with both. All right, so that's a system of linear equations, two lines intersecting. All right, part B here. We're going to determine if the point 2, 5 is a solution to each of the systems provided, and want to show the work. So this is just basically doing the check. So this is a fancy way of saying do the check. So the 2 is our x, the 5 is our y, and we're just going to check them. So this is the y equals 4x minus 3. We got to check that one. We also have to check the 2x plus y is equal to 9. All right, so I'm going to plug in the 5 for the y. It's going to be 4 times the x is 2 minus 3. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 3 is, of course, 5. So the first one checked. And second one, my x is 2 again. My y is 5. So we've got 4 plus 5. Does that equal 9? Of course it does. So 9 equals 9 in this case. Both of them check out perfectly. All right, on to part B. Let's see the different system of equations, but we're still checking the same point. So I'm going to do the same thing. All right, my y is 5 minus 2. Does that equal 3? Yeah, 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. That one checks. And in this one, let's see, y is 5. That's an x, sorry, forgot that before. 1/2 times 2 plus 6. Well, 1/2 of 2 is 1. 1 plus 6 does not equal 5, it equals 7. So this does not check. So since this one doesn't check, 2, 5 is not a solution. But for part A, both of them did check, so it is a solution. All right, so you really got to check both of them to make sure. Cool. So flip it over to the back. Your check your understanding is to do both of these on the back and then also answer the online quiz. Thank you for listening.